Welcome everyone to 8-Bit Adventures Plays Dark Matter. I am Matthew Tucker, your Galaxy Master. We have returned and we are ready for our first session. Everybody's characters are prepared. We've got the ground rules all figured out and things sort of locked down, hopefully. Allow me to reintroduce to you your players. To my left, playing Jacko, is Sean Robbins.
Hello.
To his left, playing Cornflakes, is Courtney Bowley.
Hey, everybody.
To her left, playing... I'll remember it someday.
Lily.
You
Lily,
can just say
that's
Lily.
right. I keep forgetting.
Yeah.
Is Sean Hayes.
Oh, hi, Mark.
And to his left, playing Autumn, is Chad Tarvez.
Hello.
All right. We're ready. We're set. We're go.
Strapped in and ready to go.
So, the four of you have been working together as professional scavengers for a while now. For some of you together, it's been a couple months. For several of you, it's been several years. The reason that you got into the business is, of course, your own and something that we can look into a little bit further as the game progresses. You have been working on jobs essentially off of the Galactic Job Board, which is a bit of a challenge because there are a lot of heavier duty mercenary groups, from the high end to the low end, who are filling jobs and taking care of all of those side things. And so an independent crew like you has a harder time finding a spot. You don't have a ship as of yet, which has been a challenge. You've had to contract transport in order to do many of your jobs. Things seem to be on the up, however. Charmonal Hammerhull, a mysterious dwarven benefactor, has given your group several relatively low-key jobs in the past, and he seems to be happy with the work that you've done for him. So much so that he has suggested that he's going to give you one of his select jobs to see if you're ready for a contract. You don't know super much about Hammerhull, who goes by the shortened name of Char. He communicates almost completely via holographic message, so you've never had the opportunity to see him in person. He's very specific as far as what he wants during the course of a mission, but he tends to be vague as far as what you'll be facing when you arrive. Very often, based on your reports, it seems like he knew what you encountered was there already. And he was more interested to see how you would report it back to him. This mission is a little bit higher than the normal run-of-the-mill. Aboard a dwarven shuttle, which is a little bit cramped for your group, particularly with Jacko's impulse suit taking up a decent amount of the cargo space. You fly towards your objective. You have been dropped off in between gates on a jump with coordinates in a bit of an uninhabited area. There's a star. It is a smaller orange star. It doesn't seem to have had the gravity to really pick up all that much as far as planets are concerned. It does have a lot of interplanetary debris. You activate your holo communicator, and Char's head and shoulders appears, as it often does. Your mission is simple. There is a human cruiser which crashed in this sector. You should be able to detect it easily. The distress signal that it was transmitting continues to transmit despite the fact that the cruiser has been wrecked for months. The cruiser was apparently transporting some very unstable artifacts, amongst other pieces of equipment, and it was en route to the hegemony of man. Your mission is a little more open-ended than I'll usually give. You are to search for anything useful aboard the ship. Per our usual agreement, you are to report anything that you found, and anything that I do not find of value, you may keep for sale or use. When you have completed your mission, return to these coordinates, and the ability to jump back will be provided to your jump computer. The dark matter drive will engage and you will return. This should be an interesting trip. Enjoy. The holo emitter goes dark. It's very easy to pick up the distress signal. Human cruiser's not hard to miss by any stretch.
Are we the only crew on this transport?
You are.
Okay.
So it's what would be classified as a shuttle. So It's got room for a pilot and maybe 9 or 10 passengers or various cargo. It's not a long-term ship. It doesn't have cabins or anything.
Yeah.
It's designed for short dark matter jumps and, planet to space transport.
I'd like to take my We can see the ship, right?
At this point, it's far off, but you can see it. You're maybe 10 minutes away.
Can I use my binoculars to see if there's anything on that ship that we might face?
So, it is, being a cruiser, it is a large ship. Fortunately, it looks like you're not going to need to deal with as much as you would in a ship this class and size. There's been a lot of damage done to the ship. As a matter of fact, pretty much the front half of the hull has crashed into a large asteroid, and just from the external view, it looks like large parts of it are going to be inaccessible. There are several points which you can dock on the ship. There appears to be a rear docking bay, which you can reach without too much difficulty. There are also several external docking points where a ship of this class might dock with another ship without loading into it, which you'd be able to attach to using the airlock on the shuttle easily enough.
Where do we
I'm getting my suit on.
where do we think we want to dock, everybody?
Wherever it's gonna make the most sense.
There's that airlock on the port side looking pretty good to me, boyo.
I think that's a pretty good idea. I put my life suit on too.
I will I assume that one of us is piloting.
Yes.
I will assume that
Right.
I am piloting,
I'm like, not it.
I was kind of assuming you also.
since I am a good pilot.
You are best pilot?
I might be best pilot.
You might.
I will guide the ship over to the port side docking bay, or docking port.
Okay. You're able to dock easily enough. The automated systems are non-functional, but this is a fairly routine maneuver. You've docked at damaged ships in the past before. At this point, the seal is made successfully. All seems to be well as far as you can determine.
I'll take point.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Stay close till we figure out what's going on in there.
Mm-hmm.
See trouble, holla.
Sure.
Okay.
I assume you'll see it before I do, but
I don't got eyes in the back of my head.
How much did I do for? Okay.
I engaged the airlock.
Okay. You open the airlock and it opens into you're sort of a small receiving room, as would be standard, to allow transition between two ships in the airlock. There is a hallway to the left and to the right. The emergency lights in the ship continue to be active, but they are probably at the end of their power at this point. They flicker ominously. You can still see clearly. It doesn't affect your ability to see. It's dim light, though,
Okay.
so your distance is limited.
Sounds good. I'll let me get it ready.
Unless you have dark vision or other enhancements.
fun fact is, dark vision treats darkness as dim light, which still imposes disadvantage on perception checks.
This is true.
This is the way.
I make a left.
Okay.
I follow behind.
I follow.
One of you nerds keeping track of the floor plan?
Making a mental note.
Yeah.
Come along, Igo. As a mechanical
I'd like to.
Deinonychus follows along.
I want to bring my familiar, my fox familiar,
Okay.
up. And he's walking right beside me.
Okay. The current hallway that you're in is, for the damage on the exterior of the ship, is not that bad. You're along an exterior hallway, so there are viewports which are either holding or have been sealed shut by blast doors, because each of the small viewport windows has a blast door attached attached to it. There are residential rooms every 20 feet or so to your right.
I'll check those out as we go.
Okay. There isn't a lot of interest, unfortunately, at least thus far. There is personal effects. It doesn't look like any of the weapons were allowed to be stored in anybody's rooms, so there's no blasters or other notable equipment.
I had a feeling.
You also unusually notice that there are no bodies. A crash like this would have if there were no survivors. And as you were approaching, none of the escape pods had released. So there were no open pod ports.
Okay.
That's curious.
Can I do an Arcana check?
Sure.
Not nat, 16 plus 4, so 20.
Okay. An examination of the arcane energies of the space that you've looked through thus far don't show anything of note. I mean, all of the electrical components seem to be, or the magically electrical components seem to be functioning as expected. They're damaged. There's nothing overtly magical about anything that you can detect. You do sense that some of the magically active systems in the ship beyond just the power systems might also be active, but there's not really there's no arcane explanation for why there's no remains, either bodies or people.
Do we want to check to see if there's still the ship's logs intact?
Yeah, I was thinking
that's what I was gonna do, is see like what I mean, because there should, if this was a crash, there should be bodies.
Yes.
If there were bodies on this ship to begin with, I want to see if there's some sort of
Well, a ship of this size would certainly have a sizable crew.
yeah. So I'm just wondering.
If there were no bodies, it would not be in the state that we're approaching it in. It would be far, far worse.
Yeah, I think that
Unless it got lucky.
And everybody in one room that suddenly got blown apart.
Do you think teleportation magic or anything like that may be at play here?
Hard to say.
I don't know. Can I go find a terminal and see if I can pull up like a manifest of like what should have been on this ship?
Sure.
While we're going through this wreck, I want you to take a close look, see what it might take. Maybe get it flying again. I don't know. If the engines are intact, there's no saying.
I assume that might take some time to get down to wherever the engines were.
It might.
Unless there is another sort of station nearby to run a diagnostic on.
And you might even find something on the way down there that makes it not skyworthy. I don't know, but
Or something valuable.
indeed.
I mean, because anything that he doesn't basically want, we get to keep.
Yes.
I'm just saying, things of value. Ship's got value.
Should we go room by room?
Let's start there, yeah.
Yeah. Logical.
But on our way
Logical.
down, just keep an open eye and an open ear.
I think we should definitely stick together on our way down too, until we know exactly what's going on here.
Oh, I agree. It's standard operating procedures there.
Yeah.
So, clarification. Where's the group going?
I think.
That's a great question.
I think.
Okay, because I'm picking up that you've agreed to go, but I don't think I've picked up where you're going.
So to clarify, is there a terminal in this room? Because I think step one, finding the manifest,
Yeah.
was a fabulous idea.
It appears that there is a residence terminal
Okay.
Okay.
in each of the rooms.
Okay.
They are.
Can you standardly act?
It's
Get to the manifest from there, or
not under normal circumstances, but someone who is proficient in data should be able to handle it easily enough.
Okay.
looking at the nerds.
I forgot to look at that part.
We don't have an X there, so
I will
Yeah.
head over to the terminal.
Sorry.
Is it operable?
It's taken you about 3 rooms to find a terminal that hadn't been crushed under something that fell over. Just through your examinations, you do find one that's functional.
Yes, I will. Boop.
So the residential terminals are fairly standard as far as what they're able to access. Sort of general historical library type, things that you would find on a surface search on the internet. It looks like if you were to try and dive a little deeper, you might be able to trick the terminal into giving the information that you're looking for. Of note, however, it looks like the faster than light communication system is non-functional. So there's no access to any web connections, basically.
Does this,
So
So
you
there's
can
no
roll.
Wi-Fi.
You can roll. Correct. You can roll your data if you would like.
Sure. I suppose the information that we're really looking for should be stored locally anyway.
right.
Yeah.
Ships usually required to carry their manifest with them.
That is a total of 18.
You are able to, with some rerouting and some relatively... You definitely can't get any of the higher security data, but you're very easily able to get sort of common officer information, including the manifest. The ship was en route from a Rothian attack site, carrying a selection of artifacts from the attack. There were no living Rothians, as tends to be standard. But there are several of their mechanical devices that they were able to secure, and the hope was to get them to a laboratory to analyze. There is also aboard the ship what appears to be a larger than average cargo space. The cargo space appears to be... So there was to the aft of the ship, there was that docking bay, which you opted not to go with. You went with one of the docking ports on the side. So the docking bay is sort of between the main engine structure. This cargo space appears to be underneath that docking bay and sort of in the rear belly of the ship. Any attempts to find out what's in that bay is coming up with restrictions.
Well, we don't certainly need to look that information up on the computer. We can find that out for ourselves.
Indeed.
However, it looks like this is carrying Rothian artifacts. That's interesting.
Indeed it is.
That we're being shuttled for investigation and diagnosis. I suppose that's something we could do ourselves.
I don't see why not.
So as a note, the Rothians are a trans-dimensional, trans-galactic, no one's really clear on the origin, species that has a psychic hive mind and seems to be interested in the psychic domination and enslavement of the galaxy. For example, they power their ship with the psychic energy of people's brains that have been popped out of their bodies and tortured to the point that the psychic energy powers their ships.
Oh, good.
Yeah, they're a lovely group.
Yeah, lovely. That's the word.
Yeah.
I think given the choice between the two, I'd rather just have my brains eaten by mind flayers.
What are those?
Oh,
Nasty.
you must have heard of them before. Octopus tentacle-headed.
Oh, yeah.
Monsters
no,
from beyond the stars.
The creatures of my nightmares.
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
Not
yeah.
if you ever meet one. You won't have no nightmares then.
You'll be the nightmare. Can I do a nature check to see if there's any way to
Okay, I figured that out.
any more information, like to how to be ready for them, to know signs that they're about to pop out of somewhere?
I suppose you could.
That's gonna be a 15.
Okay. And there's not really anything all that natural about a hegemony cruiser. There's not really anything that you can determine other than the fact, and you got a sense of this from your arcane testings, but it was sort of like a hint and you kind of ignored it. Your nature assessment confirms that there's something off about the energy of the ship. You can't put your finger on what it is, but it's not running correctly.
I'm feeling like there's something a bit off, guys. The magic seems to be normal, but there's something in my gut that just is telling me that something's just not right here.
Everyone roll perception for me.
Mm-hmm. 19.
19.
13.
11.
The two of you hear the whine of anti-grav engines coming down the hallway.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something's coming.
Would you like me to go scout it out?
Yes.
Yeah. See my eyes.
Be careful.
I'm gonna cast invisibility on myself.
Woo.
Okay.
With my repeater drawn.
Before you do that, roll your data again.
Okay. 23.
Okay. As you're making your preparations, you notice that something has been actively accessing the data systems of the ship as well. Something not you. And it's easy enough to infer that whatever was accessing the systems detected you accessing the systems.
So prior to me casting invisibility, I'm just gonna. It seems that someone else was accessing the systems as well, and this is perhaps what is coming to check it out. I'll be back in a flash. Blink.
Take care of yourself, boyo.
Oh.
Okay.
Not a boy.
It's a boyo.
Right?
We're all boyos.
All boyos. Good boyos.
So it's like fam.
Right.
Or dude.
Right, dude. It's.
Right, dude.
Well, no, fam is now the gender neutral.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So I'm gonna leave my my bot with the group.
Okay.
And yeah, go sort of sneak off in the direction
Melee
of
weapons with strength
this
based.
noise.
So
Okay.
strength score plus proficiency bonus if you're proficient with it. Is your
Coming down the hallway, about. You can see clearly-ish. The hallway goes on for, looks like 200 more feet before it splits off again. About 100 feet from you are 6 small objects heading in your direction. Hovering.
Do they look like drones or droids? Or
Roll your
robots?
tech.
24.
They're definitely drones. They look like they're in the defense configuration.
Okay.
Drones that are defense drones have an integrated blaster, so they're small. They'll shoot at you.
Doesn't matter.
And their sensors are capable of blind sight function. So within another 40 feet or so, they're going to be able to detect you despite the invisibility.
Yeah, I'm gonna make my way back to the group upon making this discovery. Moving as quickly as I can.
Okay.
Okay.
So when I get back, I'm gonna drop invisibility. It seems there are some defense drones coming this way.
Well, this just got all sorts of fun.
About a half a dozen.
Oh, great.
They have activated defense mode, so we should be either moving along or be prepared for a firefight, it looks.
Oh, I'll take care of that. Don't worry
Okay.
about that at all.
Do you-
Their little stingers can't hurt me none.
Okay.
Do you think that they can still understand commands from other people, or do you think that they can be persuaded?
I mean, it's entirely possible, but
It's possible, but
I could always telepathically talk to them.
well, it's tough to know if these are
I mean, I would presume it
magical
would need
or if it's more mechanical.
you would need some sort of technological input.
Yeah, because sometimes if it's magical, it might be able to be persuaded. But if they're mechanical and going off of just this is their orders,
I did sense before that there was some other systems besides just the engine operating on a magical basis.
So, quick clarification with
Yes.
your tech roll
Yeah.
and with your familiarity with drones and so forth. You know that drones have a highly rudimentary sort of almost animalistic intelligence. For example, if you tell them to look for a screwdriver, they're smart enough to know what a screwdriver is and to go find it. But they need a controller in order to operate on that command.
Yeah.
So unless they're highly modified, which it did not look like.
Yeah.
More than likely, there's someone who sent them to seek out intruders.
Out of curiosity, as far as the design elements go, did the drones look like that they had design aspects of a particular culture? Standard model?
It was difficult to see with the light the way it was.
Okay.
They appeared to be relatively run-of-the-mill human design drones.
Okay.
What if we distract the course that they're heading towards us? Did you guys notice any forks in the ship's path?
No, it was a fairly straight shot.
Okay.
Perhaps we should get moving.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Which way, though?
Away from the drones.
Or do we
Yep.
want to go towards them, figure out who's behind it?
Well, Jack, you are a Marine.
So clarification to make sure that I'm visualizing this the way that everyone else is visualizing this. You return to the room that everyone
Yep.
was sort of based in.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're in the room. Okay.
I think I would be in the hallway just outside at this point once I heard there was incoming.
Okay.
But yes.
As you move out of the room, you see them. They're in firing range. Roll initiative.
All of us, or just Jacko?
Jacko, and then we'll do another round.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Initiative is essentially just dex modifier.
Yes.
yes, unless you have something else to modify it.
Nope.
The alert feat or a bard.
Six.
Okay. The drones go first. Your armor class is
16.
16. Okay. Okay, so 2 hits, 1 crit.
Perfect. Starting this game off right. Right, it should be.
So let's see. So
Think we
that
can get a TPK in the
is-
first session?
Nearly happened before.
7. Between the 3 shots, one of which gets you square in the center of the armor, right at center mass, you take a total of 17 radiant damage.
Sounds good.
And it's your turn.
They're within my range as well. They're within 240 squares or whatever it is.
Oh, yeah.
Feet. Okay.
Oh, goodness, yes.
What orientation would you say there? Are they kind of close together? Are they?
I would say that, so the hallways are about 10 feet wide, roughly.
Okay.
So I would say the way they're configured, maybe 3 to a 5 foot space, sort of swarmish.
Okay. I'm going to target the 10-foot cube that they're in. Please make reflex saves for all of them. Dexterity? Reflex saves. Yep.
Or dexterity saves, yeah.
Okay.
Excellent.
Your DC for that is 14.
2 of them succeed.
The ones that fail take 13 damage.
So what did you do?
Spray and pray. And you got to make a DC 14, or you take the 2d8 damage, which
Okay.
is what did I say, 13? Yeah.
4 of them explode.
Oh,
Perfect. And I get another attack, I think. Let me look at the details. On that.
Yeah, 'cause
you're
it-
not used to fightering
it
quite
might-
yet.
I'm not used to fight, and I'm not used to like the nuances of this particular feat.
like it
That's
might
all good.
require you to use an action to do that.
Right. I think it was just like as an attack I can do that, but let me just double check that just to.
Which that's gross. If it's an
Yeah.
attack.
Right?
Okay.
Finding it here.
Think of the.
As an action, yeah. So that was my
Action.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So that was me.
Okay. Everyone roll initiative.
Does that include me
You
again?
you roll it again in order to
So,
reestablish your place in the initiative.
question.
Keeping
Answer.
the streak alive.
Can I see any of the 2 remaining drones from my current position?
So
Only the first
Jacko
one.
was outside of the room. Everyone
Yep.
was talking about going outside of the room. So at this point, no.
Okay.
You see Jacko shooting at them.
Yeah.
But you don't.
So
You
I
can't
I don't
see
have
them
a
from
clear
where you
shot
are.
to
Not
shoot first.
Not yet. You've got to move.
Okay.
Before you can shoot.
So I don't get my free attack
You
then.
don't. I'm afraid.
Okay.
So what are we looking at?
9.
2. 15.
19.
Okay. So
Nerds.
the order is Autumn, Lily, drones, cornflakes, Jacko.
I think I
Nah,
got cornflakes.
no.
Oh
I
no,
got it.
Jacko cornflakes.
Jacko
I'm sorry.
cornflakes.
All right. I would like to look out the door to be able to have them in sight,
Okay.
and then I would like to do a level 2 witch bolt.
Okay.
And with witch bolt, I
E-
don't.
easily doable with your move, and then
Cool. And do I have to roll spell attack for this?
The initial one, I believe, is an attack. Make a ranged spell attack against that creature.
All right.
okay.
It's to maintain it. You then don't need to make further attacks.
So one thing I didn't figure out is what my spell attack bonus is.
So your spell attack bonus is going to be +6 because it's going to use your charisma plus your proficiency bonus.
All right. +6.
Yep.
One sec. Okay. So roll. 16 + 6, so 22.
That's a hit.
All right, and I rolled 2 d12s. 11.
Wait, 2d12.
Yeah, it's a.
Oh, you cast at level 2, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
13.
The one, so you target one of them, and it explodes in a brilliant burst of sparks and flame.
So we have one left, right?
Correct.
All right. Can I peek back behind the door still, or am I stuck peeking out the door?
So unless you have a feat, you can't split a move, correct? You make a move and then you make an action?
No, you can split up your movement between any attacks that you have, or your
Okay.
action, however you see
As,
fit.
as long as you don't exceed your...
Your movement.
Yeah, you can very easily step back.
Yeah. Everybody gets spring attack.
Very good.
Wizards decided it's way too limiting, and to make it a little more cinematic.
Okay, yeah.
So, for example, if you're a fighter with 4 attacks, you can move. Like, you could move 8 feet, attack, 8 feet, attack, 8 feet, attack, 6 feet, attack.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Good deal. Thanks, Wizards.
Yeah. I'm going to run up to the door, and that's a sound idea, and then swing out from the door and see if I can get a line on a shot to the remaining drone.
Okay.
Take 2 shots and then duck back behind cover.
Okay. Go for it.
I do believe that's going to hit with a 26.
Oh, goodness, yes.
I want to use good dice. Let's use Hellfire. For a total of 10 points of radiant damage.
The last drone explodes.
I didn't even get my second attack.
You did.
Told you they was nothing.
I think I'm gonna go up and just kind of check them out to see if there's any markings or anything on them. Does that sound like a good idea to you guys?
Yeah.
I'll cover you, but yeah,
Oh,
let's
yeah.
do it.
All right.
And I'll take point
Dude, I didn't
in
even
front
get
of
to
you, but I'll walk
go.
past the drones.
You did not.
Sure.
Wow. No, that's okay, because I'm still trying to wrap my head around all of this.
It's all good.
So, yeah.
I go up to the drones following behind Jack. Jack's gonna go a little bit ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to look for them for anything that we can take and any symbols, just the whole shebang.
So, roll your technology.
Okay, technology.
And if you don't have it, you roll whatever the bonus is.
I get +1. 11.
There isn't really much left to salvage. I mean, there's metal scraps, but honestly, it's not refined enough at all or of any particular note. There isn't really any symbolism that's unusual at standard serial numbers and identifiers for the fact that it's a human craft. There doesn't appear to be any ship identifier on them, which may or may not be unusual. It hasn't been removed. It's quite possible that they were just stock drones that had just arrived or were being transported or something. So they're not part of the ship's regular complement.
And there's no magic attached to them or anything like that. They're just standard stock.
Other than the arcane batteries that run them.
Okay.
I think there is magic attached to most tech that we find.
Correct.
But it's like
Yeah,
standard.
It's like the low level.
There is the same sense of offness, but nothing more than that you can determine.
Okay.
Cornflakes, should we continue to press ahead a little bit while they're investigating those drones?
Yeah. Yeah, let's do that.
See if we can see what's in that cargo bay.
Yeah, because if that's
We're going to scout out ahead.
Don't get too far.
I don't know if that's a good idea. We just got attacked, guys. Don't you think we should still stick together?
I think you guys handled that so quickly that I didn't even get a chance to react.
I still...
They seem like they can be pretty quick.
Doesn't mean the next one won't be harder, boyo.
Well, we can always just run away.
It seems like somebody's controlling them.
I was gonna say,
what we get.
we were going to do this while you guys were searching
Yeah.
the drones.
Yeah.
That's up to you.
What do you...
Yeah.
I would very much like to see what's in this cargo bay.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Yeah.
Jack and I won't be far behind.
It's almost like curiosity is a core personality trait of mine.
Don't go getting yourself into anything you can't handle.
Pat, pat, pat on the mechanical dino droid.
So, based on the information that you were able to pull,
Yes.
the cargo bay in question is about 5 decks down.
Okay.
It's difficult to determine at this stage whether the crawlways that are very common in ships like this would be your best technique, or whether it would be worth trying to find an active lift. With the power systems in their current state, a lift might be difficult, but it's not impossible.
I am concerned as to whether Jacko will fit in a crawl space.
Yeah.
Probably not. I'm a huge dude in addition to having huge armor.
I mean, it's really hard for me to gauge because he's so, and I'm so, yeah. He's up here, and I'm down here.
And the fact that if this was a Lakshayan ship, crawl spaces like this would be spec'd out for armor because it's relatively standard.
Yeah.
They would have modified their ships, or the newer built ships can handle that sort of thing. Hegemony ships are a little bit tighter and more restrictive in that regard.
Yeah.
So getting...
I've seen Star Trek. I know how small those Jeffries tubes are.
Yeah, that's kind of the feel that we're going for. A little bigger, but not
Not much.
by much.
Yeah.
Not by
Space
much.
Marine armor is probably not going to fit in there.
Probably not.
What do you say we try and find a lift if we've got to go 5 floors down?
Yeah, if we've got to go that far, yeah. Yep. Yeah, so let's go try and find one of the lifts.
Okay. You can continue the direction that you were headed in the direction that the drones came, or you can backtrack.
I say we keep going forward.
Agreed.
Okay. Onward!
Okay. You continue along the path, and there's another fork. The left-hand fork seems to continue the course along the outside edge of the hull. The rightward fork seems to direct you in towards ship core. Deeper in.
I would argue that we would probably need to head deeper in.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, if a lift is going to be there, then it's like if this is the ship...
I
then
mean, who puts a lift on the outside of a ship?
Yeah, that just doesn't make sense for to be able to get everything there.
That's just asking for people in elevators to get blown off during
Yeah.
combat.
Yep.
Ding, ding.
To the right we go.
To the right you go. As you
Oh,
can...
before we do that, I'm going to use magical tinkering.
Okay.
And I'm just going to apply a static visual effect to like a piece of scrap metal that's
Okay.
on the ground. That simply says it has an arrow that says this way, and I'm going to affix it to show which way we
Thank
came.
you. I was hoping you were going to do something like that.
Okay.
Okay. Fair enough.
Just so that way, when we're not going to get too far ahead, but I also want to make sure that they'll be able to take the right path. And
Uh-huh.
yes,
That's a good idea.
So yeah, it's I can basically infuse like up to 3 items that way. They're like little prestidigitation type effects.
Cool.
Okay.
Excuse me. You set your marker and head deeper in. This section of the ship, again, appears to have minor effects from whatever the impact was. Sections of tiling there have broken off. The walls have been damaged and buckled in certain ways. Nothing enough to cause any sort of notable structural damage or allow you to pass through a bulkhead. But the ship has definitely seen better days. The ceilings are relatively undamaged. The emergency lighting continues to flicker and start, but continues to function.
Remind me quick, because my brain isn't working right today. There's no, like, alarm going off of,
No.
like... You know how sometimes when, like, the power goes off and alarm starts to go off? So
Yeah.
there's no alarm or anything, just the emergency floodlights, basically.
Correct.
Okay.
So main power appears to be off.
Okay.
I suppose this was a question that we should have asked when we boarded, but that life support is functional enough to still provide atmosphere,
Yes.
so that we didn't just,
Yeah.
Well, campaign's over.
we've been walking around in a vacuum,
Yeah, no.
I mean,
no,
I got my
there's-
suit. That's got life support.
and I
yeah,
can
and
breathe in
you've
a
got
vacuum.
your ring, but everybody else would have been. No, the air is
Stale.
stale and unfiltered. It smells like dust and cordite, but
But it doesn't smell like death.
yeah, it does not smell like rot. Mm-hmm. And it's breathable.
Okay. Interesting.
I would say we've probably gotten far enough that we should wait for them to catch up.
Yeah.
I say we try and see if there's anything around here that's worth scavenging.
We're
Yeah.
probably only a minute or two behind you. so
Yeah,
I don't
are
think
there
it took
any,
too long
like,
to check out the drones?
Doors off of this hallway, or is it just continuing to just be a straight hallway?
This particular space seems to be a bit of a transit way.
Okay.
There is a hall that runs several hundred feet, and you can see a door at the end of this hallway.
Okay. Okay. I kind of want to see what's through the door.
I mean, that's a perfectly fine plan.
That's the only. I mean, that's the only way they can go. It's not like they can just stop in like other rooms or anything. And if it's something bad, then we just stick our heads in and say hey. And if it's something bad, we say okay, nope, and we go and get the guys. Sound good?
I mean, that's, again, perfectly fine.
Yeah. Onward. To the
So
door.
you'll continue up to the door.
Continue up to the door.
Okay. The door is a standard emergency bulkhead. It closes whenever there's any sort of damage that might structurally seal off a section of the ship. Generally, a ship of this size will have automated computers, or even sometimes an artificial intelligence that will isolate specific parts of the ship. Failing that, there's a fail-safe system that just shuts every door. But there is an override panel next to each of the doors that
Okay,
sort
that's
of deploys and provides atmospheric information about what's on the other side of the door.
that's actually exactly what I was gonna ask next. Yeah.
A simple data check.
How
should be-
tall up is it? Cause I'm 3'6".
It's probably just out of your reach. It's at the top of your... You could get it with your tiptoes, but you couldn't see what it said.
What's on it?
I'll have a look.
Actually, I suppose I should be down here.
Just sit on the floor.
Although,
If I get onto the floor, I can't get back up unless you guys all want to lift me up. So that's just.
although
We'll
so-
not do that.
So
No.
that I don't have to relay the information, I will pick up Cornflakes and put her on top of Igobot,
Okay.
so that she can sit on top of Igobot.
That's doable. You're a robot dinosaur riding gnome. The absurdity begins, but you roll.
Only a 12.
You didn't roll abjectly enough to not read the information. Some of the data is coming back odd because it's clear the computer systems aren't functioning the way that they're supposed to on the ship. But you're able to determine that the door release is functional and there's atmosphere on the other side of the door.
So it looks like you won't suddenly undergo implosive decompression
Cool.
and get sucked out the airlock, but
yeah.
or get sucked out the door. So why don't we take a crack at opening this?
Yes.
Roll perception.
Both of us?
Yes.
Okay.
Disadvantage. Because dim light.
Oh, disadvantage because dim. Oh, I have dark
roll,
vision.
Roll perception, not at disadvantage because it is an audible.
Oh, okay.
It's
Okay.
sound.
Nope. I am 100% focused.
Okay.
12. I'm a little bit distracted because I'm on a mecha dinosaur.
There's sort of a white noise that you've noticed in the ship, sort of a humming kind of a sound and an occasional scritchy, scratchy, like metally sound, and it's nothing unusual.
Sounds like kind of just like the ship
Yeah, just the ship
settling.
So, yeah.
Kind of like a house makes weird noises when it's settling.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we might want to be a little bit careful.
Why?
It sounds like with all of this damage that's gone on, it sounds like some parts are just kind of like settling. So
Oh, well.
As you're discussing, Lily hits the stud and opens the door.
okay.
The door shifts open, and even before it finishes sort of it irising open,
Okay.
you see feet. Robot feet.
I must stay very, very still on top of this dinosaur. Shh. Get to the side. I mean, the door continues to open. I'm assuming. So, we get to the side.
Yeah.
I mean, so there's not much on either side of the door as far as hallway is
Yeah.
concerned.
Yeah. No, I'm just like to be like on either side of the door, basically. If that's even.
Crawling around the door are roll your tech.
11.
9.
Those are spiders. Definitely spiders. Those are spiders.
Oh, I hate spiders.
Oh, it looks like they've also taken an interest into animal robotics.
Roll initiative.
Yeah.
Hey!
4.
Are you doing anything to indicate your situation?
I will.
Okay.
Once I fire my laser bolt.
Right, and you get to shooty firsty.
Ooh, well, that's a good initiative result.
Okay.
23. I will shoot first.
4.
All right, Han Solo.
Okay.
I have
so,
the smuggler feat.
These boys are going away for the night.
so it will be Lily, spiders, cornflakes, and then the two of you will hear the activity and be able to respond.
Cool.
So, upon rolling initiative, I'm going to
Yes.
immediately use my reaction to fire a blaster bolt.
Okay.
Now, are they seemingly large enough to be distinct spiders? Or is this like a giant, massive swarm of spider stuff?
They're large enough to be distinct spiders.
Okay.
They're roughly the size of they're a little larger than a hand each.
Okay.
I was gonna say you were gonna say they were as big as Monty, and I'm like, wait, what? No, thank you.
They're a little smaller than Monty, but maybe somewhere in between there.
Okay.
Between a hand and Monty.
So a Pomeranian.
Yeah.
Spider Palm. Spider Palm.
Does whatever a spider palm does.
Rolled
Yep.
16 to Spider Palm.
Crawls on walls. Tries to eat.
Makes a sound like robot feet.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Roll your damage there.
Okay. That is Oh. That's 3. 3 radiant damage. I rolled double ones.
Oh.
It's all right. You shoot the spider and it curls up and drops.
Do these appear to be organic spiders? Or robotic spiders?
Robotic spiders.
Robotic spider. Okay.
You can tell when it drops that it sparks and it's damaged and it falls.
Okay. All right. So then, on my turn, I think thinking better of the situation, because how many are there? Lots.
Lots.
At this point is what you can read. Lots.
Okay. I'm gonna use my action to try and close the door back up.
Okay.
Should I roll for that, or is that a simple enough operation to shut that door back?
I would roll tech for that.
Okay. 14.
Well,
You can get the door closed, but the door is moving on the slower side.
Okay.
So several of them are going to get in.
Okay. I'm going to back away from the door then. And I will have Igobot sort of stand in front of the door on our side to intercept any that come in.
Okay.
With me still on him?
I mean, until you
Yeah.
get off.
Cool.
So yeah,
I have a feeling this is gonna be a common theme. I'm excited about this.
that's my go.
Okay.
So I'm gonna move about 20 feet back.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. Six of the remaining mechanical spiders are able to get in through the door
Okay.
before the door closes.
Okay.
Okay.
They crawl up around and continue on the wall and are continuing on the walls.
Oh.
Damn it! That just ends what I wanted to do.
The door, as it closes, however, closes on the spider that's sort of in the door.
Okay.
It's like a garage door. It senses something there. It opens back up again.
I hope not.
It
Garage doors don't do that. I don't know what type of garage doors you're using.
the door takes the brunt of what happens. The spider explodes. The blast happens out the other side of the door. You see heat and flash.
Oh, so through the back?
Yeah, so
It goes back into spider room.
It closed and it started sort of rolling backwards.
Okay.
And it started to explode as the door finished
Oh,
closing.
man. What if it chain explodes spiders in that room?
Well, then they're all gonna be dead in that room.
Problem solved.
Yes. Yup.
Thinking with science.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're thinking of the portals. I'm in science.
I would argue that since it's a door, we are thinking with portals.
I was thinking that too.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
So is that the spider's moves just to move forward? So they go before me.
because I believe we're on the spider's turn.
Yes,
they-
because they
they-
go before me.
They are all. Yes, they have reached the point where they are getting close to you, but they haven't quite reached the point where they can reach you quite yet.
Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. 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 So it's my turn now?
It is.
Okay. How wide is this hallway?
It's about 10 feet.
Cool. I am going to think, and knowing that they're all like still in front of me, I'm gonna thunder wave.
Okay.
Con 15 save
Okay.
for you guys. For the spiders. It's a 15-foot cube originating from me.
Okay. Do you have an effect that allows you to not affect allies?
She's behind me.
That's true.
She's
And
behind.
it's directed towards
and
the
it's
door.
and it's
Got it.
It's coming from
Yep.
me.
I was
so-
thinking more of, oh
Yeah.
God, thunder waving the door.
Yeah, no, I'm visualizing it. Okay.
No.
I mean, it's a bulkhead, so hopefully it holds.
So 15.
Hopefully.
So wampa-pa-pa-pa. 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 Okay. So 2 of them fail.
Okay.
So is it half damage on?
So the 2 that fail are going to take 2d8 thunder damage and are pushed 10 feet away.
Okay.
The ones that saved are going to take half damage and they aren't pushed.
Okay.
9. 9 for full damage and
4 for half damage.
4 for half. Yeah.
Okay. They all are shoved into the door and hit the door and fall inert.
Mm-hmm.
You're all about 10 feet away, correct?
I'm 20 feet away.
Oh, right, you're 20.
Yep.
How far away are you? Yeah, you're about 10.
Well, you
At this
were
point.
you were on Igobot, who was in front of the door.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you shove them towards the door, but you're next to the door.
Mm-hmm.
You need to roll Dexterity DC 13. Oh no.
Igobot does not succeed on DC 13 Dexterity save.
Okay.
12.
Oh, come on.
I know! If I had a modifier, I would have gotten 13.
Next time. If there is a next time.
No.
I'll patch you right back up. Don't worry.
Not worried about that.
I've got to do math now.
That was a fistful of D6s.
It
Oh,
was.
jeez.
What, are we playing West End game Star Wars now?
Yeah, no joke. 37 fire damage.
I'm unconscious.
And Igobot is blown to pieces. It's fine. It's fine. It's
Is bot you build?
yeah. It's basically steel defenders can like be rebuilt really easily.
Okay.
Kind of a thing?
That's good.
Hey.
I'll have to look up how easily, but yeah, if it's like a short rest or a long rest kind of a thing.
I can even-
Good news. All the spiders that are left are down.
Yeah.
Bad news. So's everybody else.
Not me.
Except for you.
And this is why you go with a buddy.
Wor-
Yep.
worse news. that blast breached the door.
Of course it did.
Good news, everybody.
Good news, everyone.
I killed the spiders.
One
And
spider
myself.
crawls through the door.
I'm assuming once I heard the blaster fire, I would have been running.
You
down the
absolutely
hall
would have
also.
heard that
Oh,
too.
yes.
You
Yeah,
1,000% would have heard it.
Throwing that out there. I don't know when I'm going to show up, but just
So everybody
I'm on my way.
reroll initiative now that
Okay.
the group is able to...
I am unconscious.
Because the two of you are in visual range at this point.
Okay.
You can take a move and get within about 40 feet.
oh, okay. 5.
3.
18.
I am unconscious.
You should still roll initiative because you'll be
Right,
dying.
because we need to know when your death save rolls.
19.
Okay.
So now,
Yeah. Yes,
Wait.
actually.
since we rolled initiative,
Yes.
I'm going to use a reaction.
Okay.
Shoot a spider.
Shoot a spider. You shoot that spider
With a 20.
with a 20.
Non-crit 20.
Okay. Roll that damage. Roll that beautiful damage footage.
9.
9. You hit the spider. Odds or evens?
Oh no!
Wait, odds
No,
or evens?
odds or evens.
Evens. I can't even see what I had rolled.
I
either.
forgot. Oh no.
You hit the spider falls in the door.
I forgot they exploded.
6 fire damage. You failed once.
Okay.
It's all right. It's all right.
Hey, it wouldn't be a character of mine if they didn't die.
If you weren't dying right now. So,
It's funny because it's true.
will the party be able to save Cornflakes from being blown up? Will the 4 of them, maybe who are left, be able to find their way safely to the cargo bay? Will they discover the Rothian artifacts? And will that cause them a problem? Find out next time on 8-Bit Adventures Plays Dark Matter. Thank you very much to Mage Hand Press, who produced the Dark Matter setting. Thank you very much to tabletopaudio.com, who has been playing our sound effects this entire session. Thank you very much to Pittsfield Community Television, who has provided us this fabulous studio. And if you want to see more ridiculousness like this in comic, podcast, or other role-playing game form, visit www.8-bitadventures.com. Until next time, when we answer all those questions and more, this has been your Galaxy Master, Matthew Tucker, saying, have a wonderful night. I have spoken.
Bye, everybody.
Take care of yourself, boyos.
This is the way.